This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
At Evernorth Health Services, we believe costs shouldn't get in the way of life-changing care, and we're doing everything in our power to make it possible. Behavioral health solutions that also keep your projections at their best? It's possible. Pharmacy benefits that benefit your bottom line? It's possible. Complex specialty care that cares about your ROI? It's possible. Because we're already doing it. All while saving businesses billions. That's Wonder made possible. Learn more at evernorth.com/wonder.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really passionate and excited about today's conversation. We're going to be talking all about Gen Z marketing plans. We're going to talk about marketing tactics, website, and I'm really passionate about technology and bringing you the entrepreneurs that can bring you those ideas. So today I have Emanuel Rose, and he spent over 3 decades in cutting edge marketing. He's a renowned expert in the field, and he specializes in branding, advertising, and I'm happy to have him on the show. So Emanuel, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lou. I'm happy to be here and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, I know we had got caught up, and all my friends call me Chris, and so please do the same and talk about your story and background and how you got started.
You bet. Yeah. So I've been in sales and marketing now for over 30 years, and you know, I got started when we used to go to the library and do research. So it's been a nice ride to have access to the internet and all the information that's at our fingertips. So I own a marketing agency now for the last 14 years, and have this series of books on authentic marketing that I published in the last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of talk about this, especially I've been talking to guests a lot about generational differences and talk about Gen Z and why you need a marketing plan just for them and marketing to the Gen Z development.
Yeah. So these people are between about 12 and 27, and they are the first truly digital generation. You know, they've never had a day without the internet or without computers and smartphones and social media. So that's where you have to meet them, is in the digital space first. And they want to know you as a person more so than wanting to get information out of you. So they'll do a lot of research on their own. They'll do a lot of research through their friend groups and through social media. And so the digital presence, the online presence through videos, through interactive content, and or ebooks, those sorts of things, social media posts, is a critical way to connect with this group, because if you don't do it that way, you're not going to meet them.
Yeah. And like I was talking with another client of mine. We were talking about Gen Z, and Gen Z is actually going, they're kind of the ones that'll just up and leave their job, just the next day they're gone. They're very no notice, just gone. They're very technologically savvy. They know how to use social media, blogs. They know how to get information very quickly. Fascinating. So kind of talk about this three marketing tactics necessary for 2023.
Well, the first thing is to approach marketing to this cohort as digital first. So that's number one. You got to have up-to-date website. It's got to be it's got to perform well on on mobile as well as desktop, right? So we're mobile digital, and it's got to be current with current information about what's going on now. So that's the first thing. Uh, the second thing is to, especially in medical, you've got an opportunity to be an influencer, subject matter expert and influencer. And the use of video is super important for this cohort. They're used to Kylie Jenner and those Richard Branson and those sorts of characters, um, as well as the TikTok influencers, right? But as in the medical profession or as a solopreneur, or even as a CEO of a medical group, you've got the opportunity to be the primary influencer for your organization. And getting comfortable marketing by video is a critical process. And the third thing is really figuring out how to develop some event marketing where you can create experiences for this group. They love to learn. They're very committed to learning. They're very committed to education. But they're developmentally, they've got challenges, not just from the biochemistry of screens and social, but the effects of COVID and what that did to their social growth. So they're really interested in having experiences. We call it going and doing something. Well, they want to have some experiences. So event marketing is what we call it, and figuring out ways to let them have fun as well as experiencing some part or portion of the services that you provide.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that video, especially. And then what's I found interesting is, with the attention span is kind of like they're more prone to look for short form, like very small clips. And so kind of talk about this with blogging. Does blogging still produce results?
100%. Um, but with the caveat that the blog is like the second piece of content after the video, right? So um, my coaching is around make a 60 to 90-second video every Monday morning at 8 a.m. about something that you did over the weekend, a successful patient that you saw, a frequently asked question, a fundraiser that you're involved in, right? Tell this story, and then take that video and have it transcribed and build the blog content from that. So now you've got these two pieces of content that then can also go into social as well. So it's if you have an agency, they'll love you for it. And if you're doing it yourself, it makes your life a lot simpler. The blogging is important because you still need search engine optimization,
Yeah.
and so you want to have social posts that can go to Google My Business, for instance, that reference back to your blog. That helps you be able to get found online for local stuff.
Yeah. It's so interesting how the marketing landscape has evolved, because back in the early 2000s you just had blogs, right? It's just websites and blogs.
Yeah.
And now you had social, and now you have short form, long form content, video, and now you got podcasts. And it's really interesting how blogs, you still need it, but it's just kind of like another component. And it's like everything's kind of like video consumption first, and then everything flows from there. Um, so the other question is, you if you could only do one marketing activity today, what would it be?
It's a tough one, but I'd probably either do video that would go to the various platforms: YouTube, Vimeo, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or I would just do pay-per-click ads on social. So those
Yeah,
two things could be equally as effective, and become a master of one. One of those two will definitely pay dividends.
yeah. It's interesting because viral short form video marketing through TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, it's almost equivalent to using ads, just kind of pouring gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
wh- what do you see on the horizon for marketing products and services?
I think it's going to be there's going to be more social platforms. I think that are going to continue to grow. That will continue to niche, and that will create uh, more the need to pay more attention to demographics and psychographics to who you're trying to connect with and how as we get more platforms. And I think we're going to have to continue to refine messaging and bring in more interesting trial offers or more interesting experiences in order to get people's attention and bring them into our sales funnel.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Um, and no question would be amiss without mentioning AI, because almost all guests I'm bringing up the topic of AI. And so, how does AI play into these trends, and kind of how does it interact with Gen Z? I don't, of course, it's evolving, but I'm just interested to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think, from my perspective, maintaining your authentic brand voice is the critical part of how you use the AI tools. And in the agency, we use them every day, and we love them. They're um, if you're using them in the appropriate way, which is building the correct kind of personas and the correct kind of prompts, so that you're referencing material that you've done in the past, and then using them for bigger picture things like, hey, I need a content calendar for the next 45 days, and help to create some content. But you still have to get in there once there's content from the AI for marketing, and clean up the hallucinations or inaccuracies,
Yeah.
and uh, and make sure that it uh, is it feels good. It still has to feel human. It has to be authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I like how you talked about kind of cleaning it up, and the AI cannot replace, human judgment or creativity. It's like a tool that you can use to kind of build it up very quickly. Um, and talk about the 6 marketing mistakes for Gen Z and how to avoid them.
Well, the first thing is to treat Gen Z like any other generation, right? Um, you're not going to find them on Facebook, right? And you're not going to find them responding to email newsletters, right? Like those are for the Xers and older.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. The other mistakes that I see a lot is where you have to accept the fact this is one of the most culturally diverse group of Americans that's ever been alive. And so almost 50% of Gen Z are mixed race. And so
Mm.
that's super important that that is portrayed in not just in your messaging, but in your awareness of how you're interacting with this group. And so that's another mistake that I see in both in images and phraseology and those sorts of things in ads and in content. Um, yeah, and then looking at how you're not overwhelming them with messaging in places like Snapchat, where they consider that to be kind of their safe space. That's their space to not be sold, right? So you have to know where to go, where not to go, so that you don't
Yeah.
feel like, so they don't think you're the parent peering in on them. And then you have to watch about, like were mentioning earlier, the attention spans are very short. I always make the joke that, you know, we got they have less attention span than a goldfish, which is the scientific fact. It's like 2.6 seconds right now. That's how much
Yeah.
time you have to get somebody's attention. Goldfish can actually pay attention for 6 seconds. Um, so you've got to make content that is relevant and quick hitting in a very short amount of time. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, those are the highlights of what not to do.
And kind of what the other question is, I'm interested in this term, social CEO. What is it, and how do you become one?
Yeah, so it's this idea that you're holding the role as the primary influencer for your company and your brand, and that you as the leader, the same way that Warren Buffett or Kylie Jenner would let people into their life and expose the good, the bad, and the ugly of the company. like we were talking about earlier, where you're saying, hey, had this really successful case, or this is a frequently asked question that I get, or here are um, the groups that we support as a practice in the community, and having that camera turned on to you, that focus turned on to you as a CEO, and then push that out through the appropriate social media channels, so that you are becoming that primary influencer.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. How can people contact you, follow you, reach out to you, check out your work, etc.?
You bet. I'm available at emmanuelrose.com, and the books and contact information are there on that site.
Yeah. And for all the audience out there, let's thank Emmanuel for coming on, kind of talking about Gen Z marketing. And with that, all of his resources will be in the links and show notes. And thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
All right, Chris, I appreciate it. Thanks for the conversation.